Today in this particular session we'll be going into the topics of unit 1, sources of air pollutants. So in air pollution management, this is unit 1 which has to be covered in 8 periods, and in this we'll be taking today the sources of air pollutants, especially in that particulates and gaseous pollutants. Today's session is confined to particulates. So let us see what are particulates, how does particulates cause pollution, and what are the reasons for this particular pollution, and what are the effects of this pollution, and how can we control the particulate pollution. So what do we mean by particulates? So particle, it has come out from the name particle, which means that it has got some definite mass and definite size. So here particulates are also known as atmospheric aerosol particles, atmospheric particulate matter. Particulate matter, it is in general be given as PM or suspended particulate matter. These are microscopic particles of solid or liquid matter suspended in the air. So what do you mean by particulates? It can be in any manner. It can be in solid, liquid, or any particles form. So here atmospheric particulate matter, when you consider, the particulate matter is given by PM and the suspended particulate matter is given by SPM. So a suspended particulate matter which is in the suspended form. So these are microscopic particles of solid or liquid that are suspended in the air. The term aerosol means a solution that is formed because of mixture in air. So here aerosol commonly refers to particulate or air mixture as opposed to the particulate matter alone. So aerosol, when you say, it is a mixture of particles in air mixture. So here this is aerosols are generally particulates or suspended particulate matter. Sources of particulate matter can be natural or anthropogenic. So here these particular particulate matter can be in natural manner or else man-made manner, and they have an impact on climate and precipitation that adversely affect human health in ways additional to direct inhalation. So here these are all the particulates that are present in air are going to create an impact on the climate as well as on the precipitation, and they are going to affect human health. So now let us see what are these particulates and how are they formed. So particulates and gaseous pollutants. In the simplest terms, particulate air pollution is anything solid or liquid suspended in the air. So anything that is solid or liquid which are suspended in air is going to create particulate air pollution. It includes smoke, fumes, soot and other combustion byproducts, but also natural particles such as wind-blown dust, sea salt, pollen and spores also create your particulate air pollution. So here what is particulate air pollution? When you are burning any particular wood or anything, it creates soot as well as smoke. So when it is creating, when this soot gets settled on the leaves or anything, you can find some dust like thing in a black format. So that is having some dimension and that is called as your soot. So these are your suspended particulates in air that are created by burning of coal or wooden elements. Or sometimes what happens, if we have seen hibiscus or any other flowers, they have pollen grains. Those pollen grains are so light in weight, they just get dispelled in your air. So these pollen also cause particulate air pollution. So these are all the things that are going to, sometimes even the salt that is present in sea, when because of the waves, when they are moving, the tides are being created, then just this salt gets expelled in the air, and that will be carried away from that water molecule to the air. So that will be carried to a distant place, and those are also nothing but particles that are created in your air. That is also causing your particulate air pollution. All these pollutants create somewhere or the other pollution. Now, what is the size of the particles that is going to create the problems, whether it is with respect to your air or else with respect to the human life? Size of particulate matter and the health concern. Small particles less than 10 micrometers in diameter pose the greatest problems. So what is the diameter he had given? 10 micrometers. Such a small diameter particles is going to create a great problem in the health of the human beings. So because they get deep into our lungs and even may get into your bloodstream. So what is happening? That particular particles which are less than 10 micrometers, they are getting directly into your lungs and sometimes even into the blood, and those are creating problems to your lungs or else heart. Exposure to such particles can affect both your lungs and your heart. So in both the ways, it is going to create some problem or the other to your lungs as well as your heart. So that micrometer is 10 micrometers is the size of the particle. Smaller particles are lighter and they stay in the air longer and travel further. So if at all the smaller particles are there, generally if you check your pollen grains or else even the soot particles, they are very fine in size and they are very light, which can stay in the air for a longer time and which can travel to longer distances. So smaller the particles, smaller is the size, lighter the particles, when the weight is very less, they can travel to longer distances. PM10, it indicates particulate matter of 10 micrometer size, can stay in the air for minutes or hours, while PM2.5 particles can stay in the air for days or weeks. So here PM10, a little bigger size when compared to PM2.5. Those can stay for hours. PM10 can stay only for minutes to hours, whereas PM2.5 can stay for days or weeks in the air. So smaller the particles, greater is the time they are in the air, and greater is the distance they travel in the air. So when the particle size is very small, then you need to think about more of its hazard it is going to create on the human life or onto the air pollution. What are the sources of particulate matter in air? Particulate matter sources. The particulate matter sources are components of particulate matter, include finely divided solids or liquids such as dust, fly ash, soot, smokes, aerosol sprays, fumes, mist and condensing vapors that can be suspended in the air for extended periods of time. So what are the main sources of a particulate matter? Your natural things, that is your flowers and all. Apart from that, burning of coal, wood, all that. Not only those, the smoke that is coming out from the industries, the soot that is coming out from the industries. Apart from that, even the aerosol sprays, chlorofluorocarbons that are being sent out, all these are going to create particulate matter. These are all the sources of your particulate matter. They are going to affect the air in a very hazardous manner. Those are going to create pollution of air. The major cause of particulate matter. Particulate matter is in the air pollution emitted from vehicles, factories, construction sites, tilled fields, unpaved roads, and burning of fossil fuels. See, here he gives each and every category. Vehicles, when the amount of soot or the smoke that is coming out is more, that is going to create pollution. That pollution is caused because of the particulate matter. See, when you check the pipe, that pipe whichever will be sending out the combustion gases, that pipe when you check, it will be black in color. The material will be sticked onto it. So you can just remove that using a small stick or small pin or anything. It means that that is having a particulate matter. Next, construction sites. In the construction sites, you find cement, sand, you find rock materials, everything. Those are all the pollutants that will be generally used in the site. Each and everything, the material whatever we are using in the site creates some particular matter into the air. And next, tilled fields. When you are tilling the fields, when you are tilling, what happens? The soil gets disturbed and the soil particulate matters get into the air. So that is one. Unpaved roads, wherein you don't have cement roads or concrete roads or all those. Always the dust will be flowing whenever there is a vehicle movement. That. Next, and fossil fuels burning, when you are just burning your wood or anything. All these are the causes of pollution. And all these pollutants are going to have some particles or the other of very finite size in it. It is also formed by grilling food on charcoal or gas grills, burning leaves and brush, next smoking cigarettes and burning of wood in a fireplace or stove. Not only those things, even the things whatever we use in the kitchen, even for our making of food, all those are creating particulate matter. That is when you are grilling food, or else when you are burning food on the charcoal, when you are burning leaves and brush, whatever are the waste things, twigs and all. Next, when smoking of cigarettes is being done, and when there is burning of wood in the fireplace, all these is going to create particular matter. So these all are going to create air pollution. So how much ever good you are making it, when you are just burning the food, except for the need, you need not grill the food and eat. So all these different types of cooking are also going to create some manner or the other the particulates into the air. Natural sources of particulate matter in air. So here in the before thing whatever we have said, we had particulate matter being emitted by different sources. Now when you check, you have some natural sources whereas some man-made sources. Mainly the natural sources cannot be totally removed. Only thing what we can do is we can minimize the usage of man-made sources. So the particulate matter, here he gives, PM is composed of solid and liquid particles in the air that are small enough to be inhaled. So you cannot remove that particles from the air. That has to be inhaled. So natural sources of particulate matter, it includes sea salt, dust and pollen, but it also includes material from volcanic eruptions and particles formed from natural gaseous precursors. So here you have sea salt, you have dust, you have pollen grains. Not only these, even the volcanic eruptions and sometimes even the natural gaseous precursors also give some form or the other of particulate matter into the air. These are going to create your pollution. So in this particulate pollutants, we have two types of particulate pollutants. present in the air. You call them as viable particles and the non-viable particles. We'll look into this type of particles in the next coming chapters. What are viable particles? What are not? Just remember the two things, that particulate matter has two types. One is viable and the other one is non-viable. Sources of atmospheric particulate matter. What are the main sources? We said that how the particulates are going to create air pollution, and these particulate matters are coming from natural sources or man-made sources. So natural sources, he had given it as sea salt, he has given it as dust particles, he has given even pollen grains, volcanic eruptions and all. So other than those, what are the different types of particulate matter sources? Human activities, as we have said in the before slide, that even cooking of food on charcoal or on by burning of wood or by using of fossil fuels or by the usage of gas is going to create particle emissions. Not only that, the way we cook, that is using grilling is going to create particulate pollutions. So here he gives human activities such as burning of fossil fuels in vehicles. Your petrol, diesel, all are going to create particulate emissions. Stubble burning, power plants, road dust, wet cooling towers and cooling systems, and various industrial processes also generate significant amounts of particulates. All these human activities, burning of fossil fuels, stubble burning, power plants, road dust, wet cooling towers, in cooling systems, industrial processes, using of grilling elements, usage of sprays, everything is going to create particulate emissions. These particulate emissions are getting into the air and they are going to disturb the air. They are going to create pollution in the air. Now let us see what is the particulate impacts on the Earth's climate. See, each and everything that is being done, whether it is natural or man-made, it is going to have some impact on our planet. So here the particles, they are creating your air pollution. This air pollution is creating global warming, and this global warming is going to increase the temperature of your Earth, and it is creating different types of problems. So here particulates, here he gives directly or indirectly it is affecting humans' life. When we consider mainly this particulates in air pollution, these are going to affect directly the human life. How means, here he gives, created by both natural and man-made causes, particulates impact the Earth's climate, precipitation levels, and can have substantial negative effects on human health. So here he gives, so these are going to create impact on Earth's climate, precipitation, and also they are going to create harm to human health. Particulates are the deadliest form of air pollution because of the ability of them to deeply penetrate into the lungs and bloodstreams unfiltered. See, the particulates are very, very small in size that cannot be even taken away by the finest cloth or elements. So these are, you are going to breathe in directly, and that is going to get into the lungs and sometimes into the bloodstreams, and that too in an unfiltered manner. They block your bronchial tube or else your respiratory tube and sometimes even your bloodstream. Those are all creating a negative impact on human life. Sources of particulate pollutants. What are the natural sources? Particulate pollutant, particles in suspension. Dust particles. Dust particles form a complex of organic compounds and minerals. These can derive from natural sources such as volcanoes or human activities such as industrial combustion processes. See, the natural means are generally because of the vehicle movement, because of the fine dust that is carried out by the vehicle movement, you are going to get these particles into the air. Not only those, all the human activities, whatever we make, industrial combustion of fuels, next volcanic eruptions, all these are going to create particulate pollutants into the air. Even the traffic creates particulate pollutants. So here, these particulate pollutants, in order to check, generally when we have meshes, these meshes, if you just keep them for 1 or 2 months just without removing, you can see some fine dust being collected by this. If you use a vacuum cleaner or else a dusting cloth, you can clearly find that there is some fine dust. So this fine dust, when it is inhaled inside, it is going to create your problems. So these are all the effects of pollution. Now, what are the effects of this particulate matter? The physical properties of particulate matter, including the mass, surface area, the number, size and distribution of the particles, as well as their physical state, influence respiratory health in different ways. So the main thing that is going to affect because of this air pollution or because of the particulates in the air pollution is your respiratory system. So your respiratory health is going to get affected in many manners. Just when the respiration is not good, it is going to even affect your blood. So the blood distribution or blood carriage system is going to be affected because of this particular particulate matter. The primary exposure mechanism to particulate matter and other particle sources is by inhalation. See, this dust is so fine that you cannot even make it that you have inhaled. Due to prolonged usage or prolonged stay in these atmospheres is going to create a great impact on your human life. So here he gives the primary exposure to the mechanism of particulate matter and other particle sources is by inhalation. You are just going to inhale so many particles inside. All these are going to create your respiratory diseases or respiratory health is being affected because of particulate matter in the air. Growing epidemiologic evidences indicates that inhalation of airborne particulate matter increases respiratory and cardiac mortality and morbidity and produces a range of adverse respiratory health outcomes such as asthma, lung function decline, lung cancer, or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So these are the effects of this particulate matter inhalation. So what is that it is going to create? It is going to create cardiac mortality, morbidity, and even all types of lung problems, your asthma or lung function declination, lung cancer, allergic bronchitis, all the things are being caused. Apart from this, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease is also caused because of particulate matter. The data indicates that air pollution also aggravates asthma with the exacerbation correlating with levels of environmental particles. So what is it going to do because of the particulate matter? It is also going to increase the asthma. People whoever are suffering with asthma are going to have an increased level of asthma. Likewise, the rate of decline seen in COPD patients correlates with the level of air pollution where the patients live. So generally, when these people are subjected to more of fresh air, wherein this particulate matter is not present, these people can live for a longer time. So here all the reasons for the growth of pulmonary diseases is only because of particulate matter in air. So if at all the particulate matter is going to be decreased, then all the functions of the lung will be better. Particulate matter induces inflammation, innate and acquired immunity, and oxidative stress. So inflammation, a burning sensation in your respiratory tract, all those innate and acquired immunity is going to get affected. Oxidative stress is also being found. It also increases innate and adaptive immune responses in both animals and humans. It is not the human life that is going to be affected because of particulate matter. It is even the animals that are going to get affected. The immunity is going to change. That derived from traffic and various industries is associated with allergic airway disorders, including asthma. So now generally we are seeing people, even small children, being affected by asthma. That is only because of air pollution, and that too because of particulate pollution of air. So here, because of traffic and various industries, we have all the allergic airway disorders. Understanding the mechanism of lung injury from particulate matter will enhance efforts to protect at-risk individuals from harmful respiratory effects of air pollutants. Generally, when you check in the civil engineering industry, people whoever are in your ready-mix concrete plants, or whoever are doing the site works, site supervisors or the normal people, those will be having, or those people are prone to more of lung diseases when compared to the people whoever are sitting in and doing their work in the office. Like your draftsmen, those people are not affected. The main reason is these people are, whoever are on the site or ready mix plants and all, or else your cement industry, those people are subjected to more of particulate matter or particulate emissions from the industry, which is going to create a great impact on their life. Even the people who ever are in thermal electricity production, they are also subjected to more of lung diseases. All this is going to create very great effect on the lungs. So particulate matter functions as an adjuvant inducing lung inflammation to allergens or respiratory viruses. So it is having a great effect on the lungs. The lung diseases, whatever are being created, is only because of particulate matter present in air. So if the people who ever are subjected to all these are given fresh air, they can get eliminated by because of this diseases. So they can have a better living, they can get rid of asthma, they can get rid of all types of pulmonary effects when they are given good and fresh air. Inhalation of particulate matter aggravates respiratory symptoms in patients with chronic airway disease, but the mechanisms underlying this response remain poorly understood. See, generally what happens, people who ever are prone to these diseases, or people who ever are having some symptoms or the other of respiratory system, these people, when they are given in clean atmospheres, they respond well. They have a very good effect. They recover from their ailments very fast. The main thing is this one is going to increase your dissolved oxygen. So this review focuses on the adverse effects of exposure to ambient particulate matter air pollution on the exacerbation, progression and development of asthma, COPD and respiratory diseases. So here what is going to be created? The adverse effects. What are the main effects that are created because of particulate emissions? Breathing, and how these things are being developed, how are these respiratory diseases being developed, all these are being focused now. It also attempts to offer insights into the mechanisms by which particles may influence airway inflammation, and several mechanisms that may explain the relationship between particulate air pollutants and respiratory diseases are discussed. So here they are going to correlate why these particulate emissions are going to create respiratory diseases, or is there any connection between the respiratory diseases caused and the particulate emissions that are being made, and if the effect is there, how is it being affected, and are there any chances that these people can recover at a faster rate? All these are being studied and the studies are still going on. So there are many sources of air pollution in home environment. So even in our home, generally we feel that our home is the safest place without any pollution and all. But when you check, generally the homes are the worst places wherein you find maximum of pollution, mainly with respect to your particulates. All the things, that is right from your refrigerators, next air coolers, next air conditioners, and whatever we put for the curtains, or else whatever the meshing we do for windows, all these carry pollutants into the air. They create particulate matter on them. So here air pollution inside homes. Not only these, the air pollution is also caused because of the cooking habits that we have. So air pollution inside homes consists of complex mixture of agents penetrating from ambient outdoor air and agents generated by indoor sources. So here he gives, in generally, the air that is coming from outside is a very good air. It is having very less number of particulate emissions. But when it comes in contacts with the pollutants that are present in air, it is going to create a negative impact on them. Indoor pollutants can vary in their potential health hazard and intensity, as well as in their distribution across geographical areas, cultural backgrounds, and socio-economic status. So here he gives whatever the pollutants that are coming from indoors, those are going to create very great impact on the health. See, generally what happens when the air that is coming out, because that particular air is distributed over a larger area, it contains very less number of pollutants. But once when it enters into your air, into your area, the place where you live in is very much confined, and the air is going to circulate in the room itself. And if at all the cooking habits or your style of living varies, then what happens? The particulate emissions or the air pollution is going to get changed. If it is in a good manner, it is good, but sometimes mostly it gets in an adverse manner. That is because of the cooking habits, the air will get in contact with your oil or else some dust that is being generated. That is going to create some sticky nature. That sticky nature again will not allow the particle emissions to go out. That has to be breathed in. When you breathe in, you get more of diseases. So all these, so the socio-economic status, the background, geographical areas, the cultural backgrounds, and the distribution of air in the localities all affect air pollution. Now we know that what are the causes of air pollution or particulate pollutions in air. So now what are the steps to reduce this pollution? Reduce the number of trips you take in your car. So right from the starting, or else whenever the topic of pollution comes, people always say use more of public transport rather than your private transport, or else go for carpooling. All these are the methods in order to stop pollution. Not only that, instead of taking more number of trips in your car, try to use your legs for walking, so that it will be a very good exercise and you are going to save energy. Reduce or eliminate fireplace and wood stove use, and also reduce fireplace usage. Stop burning your fuel wood for warmth. Just reduce the use of wood stove use. Avoid burning leaves, trash and other materials. So generally what happens, we dry the dead leaves and all and then burn it. Instead of that, try to bury them into the soil. Once it is buried, it is going to get into the manure form. But once when you are just burning them, it is going to create particulate emissions. Avoid using gas-powered lawn and garden equipment. So you try to avoid gas-powered lawns, garden equipments, or else stop the usage of fertilizers, aerosol sprays, or try to minimize the use of air conditioners and all. So those are the steps in order to reduce pollution. We still have many more methods in order to reduce pollution, reduce the particulate emissions. Let us see them. The next steps to reduce pollution is stop smoking. If you do smoke, do not smoke indoors. The first thing is stop smoking. If you are doing it indoors, better to go for outdoors. Mulch garden refuse instead of burning it. So use it for your manure rather than burning whatever the plant waste is there. Limit the use of fireplaces and wood stove. When using these appliances, make sure that the wood is burned properly without any smoke or anything. So when you are burning wood, see that there is actually a fire rather than your smoke, so that the wood is completely burned and you will not be getting more of particulate emissions. Switch to cleaner burning appliances. So stop using the appliances which are going to create more of aerosols, which are going to create more of particulate emissions into the air. Take action to reduce wildfires. So wildfires, whatever the wildfires are there, whatever the forest fires are there, try to reduce them by taking proper action well in advance, so that those can be controlled. The next one is reduce the entry of outdoor particles. See, generally whatever the particulate matter is going to come from outdoors, it has to be stopped. How you can stop them is use doormats and remove shoes at the doorway. So do not enter into the house using your shoes, and use doormats wherever it is possible. Close windows and doors when the outdoor particle level is high. When you think that the outdoor particle level is more, try to close the doors and windows. Check the current and forecasted air quality levels for your city. So check how, if at all, generally when there is a borewell being dug or anything, any construction activity being taken up in your locality, try to cover your doors and windows so that the outside particulate matter will not be entering into your house. Keep your house clean to avoid resuspension of particles from carpets and floors such as soils, pollen, cockroach, allergens and animal dander. Use a high efficiency vacuum cleaner or a central whole house vacuum cleaner, and damp mop hard floors often. So what is the next thing that is there? So try to avoid the usage of carpets and all. If it is not so, try to use high vacuum efficiency pumps, high efficiency vacuum pumps, or else try to see that there are no pollens or allergens on the surface. and even check that there is dampened or wet mopping being done at the very often. Next, use a medium or high efficiency filter in your HVAC system if your system can accept such a filter. See, nowadays you can find that there are more of HVAC systems, your air conditioners, which is having pollution free air conditioning systems. These, the ad itself shows that you are going to get purified air. So there we have a great or a high grade filters. So use medium or high efficiency filters in your HVAC system. Next, if your home does not have a central system, use high efficiency portable air cleaners that don't emit ozones. So whichever is not going to emit ozones, those things can be used. If at all, if you have a central AC system, it's okay, or else use which doesn't emit ozone. Follow the manufacturer's instructions to change filters. See, generally we people don't think mostly about changing of filters, or whenever the total clogging comes, then we change the filters. Generally, whenever you take your ACs or else even your hobs, kitchen hobs and all, generally they have to be changed. The filters have to be changed very often, or once in 6 months or 1 year, depending upon the manufacturer's instructions that have to be followed, so that in order to reduce your particulate emissions into your household. So these are in general the things to reduce the entry of outdoor particles into your house. So use all these systems wherever it is possible, so that you can minimize your particulate emissions into your house. The next one is use exhaust pumps, fans that vent to the outdoors when cooking. If an exhaust fan is not present or it does not vent outdoors, open windows to increase ventilation. So wherever it is possible, whether it is in your baths or even in your kitchens, use your exhaust fans. If you are unable to use, open your windows so that you can increase your ventilation. Use a high efficiency portable air cleaner to remove particles. Be aware that in duct whole house electronic air cleaners might produce ozones but are not currently regulated by CARB for ozone emissions. See, when you are using even air cleaners, always think about the duct usage. Whenever in the duct we are using it, it may produce ozone. This ozone creates a very negative impact on our health. So always see that whatever the instruments you are using, those are not creating ozones. Do not allow smoking in your house. So that is the next thing. Don't allow smoking into your house. Use an electric or gas heater instead of a wood stove or fireplace. So use your gas or else use your electric heaters instead of wood or fireplace. If you do burn wood, use seasoned wood and make sure that your fireplace or wood stove drafts properly. So the next thing is, when you have to use a fireplace, see that you have seasoned wood for your fire, and also see that the place that you have the fireplace is properly designed. The next thing is, have gas heaters and stoves checked annually by a professional before the heating season to ensure that they are functioning properly and vented to the outdoors. So if you are using room heaters and all, see that they are checked by a professional so that you are using it in a proper manner before the season. You never use hibaches, charcoal grills, unvented space heaters or power generators indoors. So whatever you have, all these power generators or unvented space heaters, charcoal grills, they shouldn't be placed indoors. Limit burning of candles and incense indoors and use them only for good outdoor air ventilation. So the candles or the incense sticks that we burn inside, it should not be done inside, it should be only on the outdoors. Avoid use of air fresheners, cleaning products and fragrances that have a pine or citrus scent because they can react with ozone to form particles and formaldehyde. So always use the scent or anything which doesn't have a citrus smell, because the citrus smell reacts with ozone particles and it forms formaldehyde. And don't use air fresheners or the cleaning products which give an intense smell. Assure adequate ventilation during activities that generate moisture indoors, such as showering, cooking, dishwashing. Moisture increases the growth of molds and dust mites, which can trigger asthma and allergies in people who are sensitive to those allergens. So always use, whenever you are using, see that there is no moisture generation inside. All the things, mainly your showering, cooking, dishwashing, all should be done outdoors rather than indoors. Moisture encourages the growth of molds or dust mites, which will be increasing your asthma or allergies in the people who ever have sensitive to these allergens. So try to avoid them, or else the usage can be minimized. So these are the ways in order to control your particulate emissions in your air. So with this we are going to end today's class, wherein we have seen what are particulate emissions or what is particulate matter, what are the sources of particulate matters, and how is it going to cause pollution, and what is the size of particulate matter, and what are the major causes of particulate matter, or what are emitting these particulate matters, and how these are going to create pollution, and what is the impact of this particulate emissions on Mother Earth, and what are the effects of this particulate matter, and next what are the diseases caused because of particulate matters, how is it going to create the human life, how is it going to affect the human life, not creation, it is affect the human life. And the next we had seen what are the steps that has to be taken in order to reduce the particulate pollution in our houses or outside. So all this is going to tell you about this, that the particulate emissions that are present in air is going to affect human lives. It is going to affect mainly the respiratory tract, or the respiratory system is going to affect it because of this particulate emissions. So these things have to be controlled, these have to be checked before we are going to use them. Whatever are going to create these particulate emissions, those things should be avoided, or the usage of those systems should be minimized, so that we can lead a healthy life without any problems to your lung. So since the lung will be using only for your inhalation or breathing purposes, and this breathing is going to have an impact on your blood transmission system, always see that your lungs are functioning properly. And people whoever are prone to more of allergens, those people should try to get rid of these particulate elements in air. They should try to stay at a distance to these particulate emissions. So with this, we'll be closing today's session. We'll be continuing in tomorrow's session with the next topic of this particulate emissions. Thank you.